Now, we were picking them up, dearming them. The official account says there was maybe an unexploded bomb that the truck hit.
There's no way to know.
There's no way to know, but you see, I have the feeling that, Lord, we may have missed a detonator. And originally, I had the story that the
Still shouldn't have set them off. Tank mine shouldn't go off that easy.
well, if we'd missed one, my original understanding of it was that the truck was dumping the mines, which it should never have been doing.
Well, no one knows was it over there.
But that could have set one off if we'd have missed the detonator. It scares the heck out of me, I think.
If they dumped them off, they were asking for it anyway.
Yeah. Well,
I doubt if they were. I don't think they were that foolish.
I never got a clear answer on it.
No one ever knew.
Same way.
You made the cactus patch, I suppose, didn't you? When we got shelled, artillery shelled that time?
The tank battle on the sidelines.
Yeah.
We sitting there in the cactus patch. I got a picture of row of officers looking at Joe Friedman, had the negative of I don't know, maybe you were there, one of them. No, you were not by that time. Watching the tank battle, not 200, 300 yards out there, and back and forth, the darn shells were going. And then I think a plane went over, and we got our rifles out, and a German plane, one of the early ones that we saw, and we fired away at it. So it wasn't very long, but what they decided they would tell us they knew we were there, and they shelled the heck out of us. I had a standing foxhole that time, about 5 foot deep. I was hanging on that, and one lit just a little ways and went off, and another one went off was a dud, dirt clops, and another one of the guys says, lit right at his elbow, dud. I don't know. Lost some guys though.
A couple of guys.
Yeah, that was Bajer or Spiba or something like that, wasn't it? Close to it.
Vader and Klein.
I remember the Stukas coming in and dive bombing the town over there, and it seems that may have been the ones that we shot at. We drew fire anyhow for our antics.
Then we pulled back, went north of 609 and into Tunis, got to Missouri, around Missouri and Tunis.
The squad I was in was going up a road toward 609 when I don't remember now whether it was rifle fire or shells. I remember flying through the air into the ditch, just sudden and very instant, facing the ammunition, the incoming.
Yeah.
Somewhere along in there is when the infantry just got a bunch of men in, new men recruits in. They lost a big share of the new guys. So same day they came in. It was kind of a terrible thing.
Yeah.
I remember being on the beach up at Bizerti. Yes, above Bizerti.
Great swimming.
Oh, lovely swimming. You walk out there a half a mile and then get I think they had something out there to crawl up on and dive off of.
We had pontoons. We took boats out.
Maybe that's what it was, yeah. But the company was strung out from the north, which would be beach up there somewhere. Also, the east would be beach. To the right would be the length of the company, tents and such. Because this was after the war, definitely after the war. And they bombed us. They had it figured wrong. They were a little too far inland to the hills, so the bombs lit just off the end of the farthest tents. But that was a bad scene too. I remember. There's a story about.
He didn't hit anybody, is that right?
Not I think I thought so. There's a story about somebody had been telling me. I must have told them, and they were feeding it back to me because it was somebody not part of the outfit, about putting our wine, which I didn't buy, but my tent mate did, in the hole in the ground to keep it cool. We dig down in the sand 2 feet or a foot or something like that and drop the bottle in there and keep it cool. Cognac, which was awful stuff. Oh, gosh. And I remember salvaging quite a bit of junk out of equipment, German equipment. They'd driven into the ocean, burned down as far as they could, burned down to water level. I got some tools yet that I got there.
You're involved in clearing those dumps out of the towns and hauling back up in the hills and blowing it up?
No, apparently not. I would remember, I think.
Yeah, that was
I did get the job of demining a brothel, literally, Supposedly, we didn't find anything in there, but they say it has. The Germans had Octan Minen posted on it, and we got the job of going. That was in Africa, I think. Might not be. Might be. I think it's there in that area. It was kind of equipped too, not with girls, but with everything else. It was quite clearly a brothel, which I didn't have any experience with, I assure you.
Anyway, headed back to Verne, I guess.
Yep, therein hangs the tale.
What was that?
We introduced to, well, the 100th Battalion. Went past the Chars one day in a truck, and the Chars were full of little, mostly small stature boys, black hair and dark skin. And we found out the same day that the 3rd Platoon was assigned to them for a combat landing in Naples. We were their combat engineers, 3rd Platoon.
That's the 100th Battalion?
100th Battalion, the whole battalion.
Japanese.
Yeah.
Hawaiian.
Hawaiian Japanese Americans. Yeah. I think they were citizens at the time, must have been.
Yeah,
it wasn't a state, however.
They were citizens.
Yeah. Anyhow, we got aboard an LST. We stayed aboard, above. We stayed in our trucks. We didn't go sleep. I remember the tanks and things down below in the big hold. I don't remember where the Hawaiian boys were, really. They had their bunk somewhere. Because it was a flat-bottomed C6 Special, an LST, and the Mediterranean had just the right roll to undo people right and left. Never got sick. Coming from across the ocean, I got guard duty by the ton. I remember old Clairbush hanging outside. He never went below. Sick.
You thought you were going to Naples with those guys, huh?
Pardon?
You thought you were going to go to Naples with
We were going to Naples, but Naples fell while we were on the Mediterranean.
Well, most of the Italians surrendered.
Italians surrendered, yeah. Fell. I don't know how it fell.
Yeah. Because we landed while it was south of...
Yeah, we, Iranis went down to Salerno.
Yeah.
And there's another story, if I may.
Yeah.
We were prepared for a combat landing in Naples, so we had the landing craft all in hand and the rope ladders over the side, pulled up a landing craft with a Jeep in it and a Japanese, Hawaiian, Japanese-American driver, and we came over the rope ladder down into the landing craft and started for shore. And instead of getting shallower, because we were grounded, it got deeper. We had been on a sandbar, and we got off the sandbar, and we got deeper. Well, I probably was illegal, but I had my little 4 or 5 Bantam camera in my shirt pocket with condoms rolled over from both ends. Very small camera, and I shouldn't have had it then, I'm sure, but I had it. Probably no film in it. I figured I was being somewhat legal. Anyhow, it came up halfway up the camera. Partway in, I looked back, and the Jeep had come off and is heading in, and the water's getting deeper for it. And the rations we had some loose stuff on it, and it was all floating away. And he kept coming, snorkeled the Jeep, of course, so that he could go underwater. Gradually, he was stretching harder and harder and harder till he floated away. The rest of the story. We got ashore. We had a bunch of us had yellow jaundice, pretty bad, in fact. We were doing red. And we turned around and went back. A few days later, hospital ship to Africa.
Well, you went back to Africa then?
During that time, the attack wiped out a half-track crew, or killed a bunch of them, occurred, and a few other things.
Well,
we figured
you'd been back for quite a while then.
It must have been 3 weeks, not too often. Well, I don't know how long.
After the half-track, after Sorensen's squad was killed, after that, huh?
I could be mixed a little bit. It could have been some other time that we were away. I'm saying I thought that was in that interim while we were in Africa that this happened.
It was a couple of months after we landed.
I haven't got a time track on that worth anything.